Hey, what is up guys? Guitar Rock here. Welcome to the anniversary of Blue Archive, second anniversary for global server. So, plenty of things are coming for Blue Archive. If you guys are not aware, we have a massive global Blue Archive live stream for the anniversary as well as a new roadmap. So today, we're going to be tackling the roadmap. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts, my opinions, and which one I think is going to be the better one for a lot of you guys out there, and a couple of other things. So let's talk about everything here. Now, as you guys can see, this is the website, second anniversary Blue Archive. Damn, it's been such a long time. I can't believe that I've been playing Blue Archive for 2 years. So let's talk about what is behind this door. We're going to open the door and that shall reveal everything right here. So a couple of things to first pay attention to. So if you guys haven't already, consider pre-registering right here. You're going to get 1.2k pyroxenes. So this is just all you need to do is just enter the same email address that you use in your Blue Archive account. Alright, alongside with that, there's also a cafe showcase. Now, cafe showcase is a competition that they're having on their forum. You can join. There's 3 total rounds: round 1, round 2, and round 3. And if you win, top 10 cafes will be winning 600 pyroxenes, which is half a multi-pull. Not bad, eh? Alongside with that, there's also plenty of other things, abundance rewards, and Kivoto's live. Those will be happening on the 28th of this month. Alright, October. With that, let's go. Let's check out the roadmap and give you guys more perspective about what characters you want to consider getting, what characters you want to consider skipping along the way. Now first, let's talk about the new character that's coming literally this week, alright, in a couple of days. 3-star Kaho. Should you pull for Kaho right here? So she's going to be a pretty strong, very strong single target damage dealer. As you guys can see, she's going to be a mystic type alongside with defense type is going to be heavy. Now, she's not going to appear alone, she's going to be the new character. She will appear alongside with some rerun banners. I just want to briefly mention, because I do think that one of the rerun banners, aka Iroha, is going to be one of the best character to consider recruiting. She is definitely something that I would recommend if you are a new player. I think Iroha is going to be a better fit for you. And then there's 2 more other banners alongside with that as well, which is Kaede right here. She's also going to appear. And Sukuyo, which I don't really recommend to waste your pyroxenes on for the time being, because it's going to be a very, very tight one. So if you look at here, we have Kaho. Right after Kaho, we will be getting 3 characters. Alright, so fortunately only 2 banners. Maid Aries, Bunny Toki, alongside with Yuzume, which is a 1-star, so you don't have to worry about Yuzume as much. So these 2 characters will be available. Shirokuro Urban Torment will be there as well. So again, very strong single target damage dealers right here. These are both very, very specialized in single target damage dealer. Moving on in November, part 1, we have Raza moving into the equation. She will be appear alongside with Kai Tanger, Field Torment. And then November part 2 will be Rumi and Mina. Alright, so this is somewhat very interesting as well. In this banner, you can see the Dragon and Tortoise. These 2 characters are very cool. I would like to briefly mention that they might be probably the best one out of this bunch. Alongside with December part 1, we have Minori. Alright, so a Red Winter character, HOD Indoor Torment is going to appear then. And December part 2 will have Swimsuit Mako, Swimsuit Saki, and Swimsuit Miyu, which is a 1-star, so you don't have to worry about her as much. So these 2 characters are in a banner. So let's talk about all of these banners. Which one should you be pulling for? Now, if you don't care about meta, you only want limited characters, good news for you. None of these characters are limited at all. So none of these banners are limited. Even Maid Aries and Bunny Toki, they are not limited. There's some misconception going on right there. I think because people are confused with the original Toki, that was limited, but this is not limited. So you don't have to worry about this. They will be added to the standard banner. However, you would be a fool if you skip all of them, because I am going to tell you, you are going to struggle later on. And we will briefly mention about the new raid again, Gregorius. But for now, let's talk a little bit about Kaho. So Kaho is a very specialized mystic type damage dealer. So she is going to be a single target alongside with Maid Aries and Bunny Toki. So if you scroll down, let's look at the skills. So you can see her EX cost is 5. Alright, so kind of not exactly the cheapest, not exactly the most expensive either. Still slightly cheaper than Mika's one. She can do up to 1.4k% in terms of damage multipliers to one enemy. So very good if you lack the single target damage dealer. For normal skill, every 50 seconds is going to apply Serenity status, increase her attack by up to 40% for 40 seconds at max, and then increase crit damage by 26.6% for the passive skill. The last sub skill, when Serenity status is active, she will be able to deal 10.4% of attack as additional damage. So again, very straight up, just a damage dealer concept. She's specialized in doing a lot of damage to bosses. Now, if you lack certain characters, right now, it depends on you. If you are new, I can see you might want to consider getting her, right? But again, for some players, if you have Swimsuit Azusa, right, which is also one of the better Mystic type damage dealer, single target damage dealer, you probably don't need Kaho as much. If you have someone like this girl right here, which is Tracksuit Hasumi, everybody gets her for free if you start during the event back then, right? So you literally get a UE50 maximum version of her for free, which is kind of insane. If you guys play through that event, she's literally the best single target damage dealer for a lot of cases. If you need, if you just need like straight up Mystic type damage dealers. Moreover, Iroha, I do think she also maybe fits the role better because she's a mixture of like AoE plus single target as well. I do recommend, if you don't have Iroha, consider her as an option, right? Consider getting her. She's very, very strong in PvP, still a top contender until today. So those are the options. Like if you have any of those, you probably don't need Kaho as much. I do like her design. I think she has one of the better design for a character, but unfortunately, we gotta be picky because a lot of these characters are really, really strong. Now moving on, after Kaho, Maid Aries and Bunny Toki. Now this is where we need to start to be a little bit more conservative and look at who you actually need. Now Maid Aries is similar to Kaho in a way that she's going to be Mystic type damage dealer, right? She's also a striker class, and you can see she also does very high multipliers, 1000% damage to one enemy at a EX cost of 4. Now normal skill, every 50 normal attacks, she will be able to do 38.1% to Mystic damage bonus against the enemies that are weak to it, and increase the attack by 32% for 40 seconds. Now very complimentary of her own kit, increase her crit damage for her passive skill, 26.6% again, and the sub skill, normal attacks now hit one enemy and deal 30.1% additional damage. Now if you are looking to pull for Kaho, you might as well consider a Maid Aries as a better alternative, because Maid Aries is going to appear alongside Bunny Toki, and that means you are going to be able to pull for both of them. So how the technique works is, a lot of people like to use this tactic, is you pull for Maid Aries, you get her, try to get her without pitting her, and then use the PT for Bunny Toki. So therefore you get both, right? Whereas Kaho is the only one that's new here alone. So Bunny Toki, you can see she's a very good single target damage dealer, but more of an explosive type. I do think she is going to be one of the strongest Mystic type character for a long time. Look at this. She can deal up to 1045% damage to one enemy. And guess what? Her EX skill cost is only 2. It's literally only 2 costs. The last raid type that I know that's 2 costs is probably Sarika or Shiroko. It's been a while. 2 costs is just insanely good for cycling, alright? So I think this is going to give her the flexibility to be one of the better characters out there. So every 40 seconds for a normal skill, deals 591% damage to one enemy, and also reduce their critical damage resistance by 25%. Now again, this is something that's very, very helpful. The ability to be able to decrease enemies' crit damage resistance is something that not many students have. So consider this a very good complementary kit again overall to Bunny Toki right here, right? Also increase her own attack by 26.6%. And the last sub skill, when EX skill is activated, which is very easy for her to do because 2 costs, right? Add 35% explosive damage bonus against the enemies weak to it. Alright, so she is going to be good in a lot of raid bosses. Alright, that's going to include Kaiten boss, maybe Hero Namers, you might be able to use her as well. I can see she's going to have a lot of tangible benefit in a lot of places. Very flexible unit for sure. However, she's definitely much more specialized against single target bosses, right? So if you care about having a raid character that will be able to help you in a bunch of bosses, then she is going to be the better one to pull. Now, I do want you guys to consider and think carefully, because she is again not limited. She will be added to standard banner. There's a chance that you can spook her later on, so that's something that you want to consider as well. Now moving on after BonToi and Maid Aries, if you decide to pull for them, next one after them is going to be Raza. Now Raza is actually one of the better characters, better tanks that have come out in a while. So this lolly right here is a tank unit, penetration type, alright, it's going to be yellow type, and you can see why is Raza kind of good is she's similar to Natsu in a way, alright, she can deal damage, alright, to enemies in the cone area, and she can cleanse one debuff from self. So in certain cases, situations where if enemy applies debuff, you don't need to bring another cleanser or debuffer to do that for you. You are able to do it on your own. Alright, so every 50 seconds, she can regenerate HP at the rate of 43% of healing for 30 seconds. And for the passive skill, increase the attack by 16.2% and increase the HP by 16.2%. So that's not bad. Alright, both of these attack and HP increase is going to help her as a tank. Sub skill, when she uses EX skill, decrease target defense by 11.4% for 25 seconds and taunt them for 1 second. So something that's very unique. Number one, she's a tank that can cleanse herself. Number two, she can taunt even though it's 1 second, but usually that's enough to distract the enemy for a brief period of time or interrupt them from doing certain things. Number three, she can debuff the enemy target's defense. Alright, she is a tank that can debuff. Very, very rare case of occasion. So she is a pretty flexible unit. I would say she is pretty good. Alright, so if you want to obtain a tank, you might have to consider her as an option. Or if you don't have Natsu, definitely she is going to be... I wouldn't say they fill a similar role. It still benefits to have both, but I can see she is going to be useful in some situations. Alright, so let's talk about the one after her, right? Here comes two standard characters that I believe is going to be one of the staple characters for the Gregorious raid. Alright, which is Rumi and Mina. Alright, so for those of you who are in global server, and if you haven't explored the JP server, you don't know what Gregorious raid is, let me briefly talk about it, because it's going to be important moving forward. So this is Gregorious, the next raid boss. Apparently one of the hardest raid boss in the game. Alright, JP server already have this. Alright, you can see this boss is very unique. It summons plenty of minions right there. And the boss has a very interesting mechanic that requires your character to be able to do or apply debuffs to be able to do more damage. Now this is where a lot of these characters come in. Apparently this boss is the hardest boss right now, and apparently this boss also has the highest HP. So let me briefly show you guys Gregorious Communio Sanctorum. Alright, we're going to scroll down and look at one of his skill, which is this skill right here. Alright, so this is one of the passive skill. Apply the following effects to self and coil depending on the number of debuffs that Gregorious possesses. So the more debuff you can apply to the boss, the more damage you can do to the boss ideally. So if the boss has 4 to 5 debuffs, increase damage taken by 200%. If the boss have 6 to 7 debuffs, increase damage taken by 100%, increase attack by 20%. If the boss has 8 plus debuffs, increase attack by 40%, right? So you ideally want to apply some sort of debuffs like at least 4 to 5 so that you are able to stack this damage taken by 200%. This is what you want to apply to the boss, right? And this is where some of this character comes in. Now Rumi doesn't really do that. Rumi is going to be a very unique healer. So she's going to, in a case, just be specifically a healer that is an explosive type. She's a healer that is a striker. Alright, so she's a healer that goes to the front, similar to Koharu, similar to Kokona, those characters right there, right? And let's have a look. Why is she cool right here, or why is she useful? She can toss fried rice to one other ally, healing them, and if there's an ally near the target that has not yet been healed, fried rice bounces in that direction and heals them as well, up to 4 times. Alright, the first and fourth target heals 223% of healing, and she also cleanses the debuff. And the second and target will be able to heal for less healing. Alright, overall. But still, it's a healing that bounces around. Pretty interesting concept right there. So the normal skill deals 430% damage to enemies within the fan-shaped area. The passive skill increase normal attack firing range by 100 and healing by 21%. And the last sub skill for allies healed by EX skill. Additionally, continuously heal by 3.3% of healing for 60 seconds. Now this is useful against bosses that have lots of minions that's constantly hitting you. You have some sort of heal over time, right? And then here comes Mina. Now a lot of people have been saying that Mina is going to be the best character to pull out of all of this bunch. I sort of disagree. I think the next character after her is going to be better, but that depends on your perspective. They are both really strong. So Mina is a striker, explosive type. So what is she specialized at? You can see why she's good right here. She will be able to deal 593% damage to one enemy, alright, at EX cost of 3. Moreover, she also has one additional effect right there, where she can decrease the attack, the evasion, and the accuracy by 30%. So she's able to apply 3 debuffs straight up just from the EX skill. Very, very good right there overall, right? So the normal skill, every 8 normal attacks reload instantly and deals 423% damage to one enemy, and also deal additional damage depending on the number of debuffs of the target. So if 3 debuffs, you are able to do 846% damage, 4 debuffs, 1.2k% more damage, and 5 or more debuffs, you can do 1600% more damage. That is a lot of damage multipliers. Alright, so depending on the enemy's debuff. Now she can also increase evasion by 26.6% on the passive, and on the sub skill, when using EX skill, increase attack, evasion, and accuracy by 35.8% for 20 seconds. So not only is she decreasing enemies' attack, evasion, and accuracy, she's also increasing attack, evasion, and accuracy, which is, you know, insane buffs. Alright, insane debuffs, insane buff. Mina is probably one of the best characters out of this bunch to consider as an option. Now the next one after her, Minori. Now Minori is a bit different, right? She's not a striker, she's a special type. She's a 4 cost EX, and she does 878% damage to enemies within a circular area. Additionally, consume up to 3 costs, increasing damage by 35% per cost, right? So this is going to be very interesting, right? She can also buff the damage. Cost reduction effects will only affect the base skill cost. Now every 25 seconds, she's also able to do 147% damage to enemies within a circular area, right? And she can increase her accuracy by 26.6%. And the last one, the sub skill. This is where she probably shines a lot in trying to tackle a lot of explosive bosses in general. For all allies, increase explosive damage bonus against the enemies weak to it by up to 30%. So this is an incredible damage boost. If you pair Minori, you pair with Mina, they are going to be pretty much very, very strong against Gregorius boss. Alright, so again, if you intend to tackle Gregorius boss, pretty much Mina is going to be one of the better characters. Rumi is going to be one of the better healer. Minori is also going to be a very good support right there. Alright, alongside with Nagisa, right? I hope you guys have her. Now, let's talk about the last one that's coming. This is going to come the end of this year at December. This is where Swimsuit Mako and Swimsuit Saki comes in. I do think that if I were personally to pick only one, I'm going to go with Swimsuit Saki. But let's first talk about Swimsuit Mako. What she can do, again, she's a striker tank, alright, so explosive type. She's mostly going to be a defender. Decrease crit damage resistance of one enemy by 20%, okay, and also deals a little bit of damage to them. For 30 seconds, she's going to increase evasion, alright, and increase her own HP. And after 50 evasions, increase cost recovery by 630 for 10 seconds. Now this is, again, if you guys have used any cost recovery allies or units or students before, this is going to be very, very helpful, right? Swimsuit Mako right here, she is going to be very unique in that case, right? Now Swimsuit Saki is where I think this is going to be, she's going to be one of the better characters as well to be able to help against Gregorius. Now she's an explosive type, alright? Now she's going to be able to deal 552% damage to a single enemy at 4 cost of EX skill. And then she has one more ability right here, which decreases defense, attack, and critical resistance of the enemy by 20.8%. So again, debuff focus character right here that is just gonna straight up help you against Gregorius. Now every 15 normal attacks, she will be able to deal 371% damage to enemies within the cone area, and also 185% of attack as additional damage against medium-sized enemies. And then she will be able to increase accuracy by 26.6%, and the sub skill is pretty unique. Increase attack of self and special students by 30.6%. Now she is going to buff a lot of the special students that are you need to basically tackle Gregorius. So if you use something like a Minori, which is a special student, and if you use something like Nagisa, which is a special student, they will be able to help you do way more damage against Gregorius boss. Now these are the characters. I just want to reiterate, none of these characters are in a limited banner, so they will all be present in the standard banner. However, I just want you guys to know that this boss, if you don't prepare for this guy right now, you might suffer once Gregorius actually comes. And not sure when that will happen, because if you look at the roadmap right here, they didn't really mention that it's happening anytime soon. So we're gonna have Shirokuro Urban, Kaitenja Field Torment, Peroro Field Torment. So that's all we are having in terms of the bosses. So maybe we're gonna have early January or early February next year. So be prepared in advance is my advice. Now if you can only pick one, like I said, Mina is going to be very strong. Swimsuit Saki is also very strong. You ideally want to get them in a pair, right? Either you go for Rumi and Mina combo, Swimsuit Saki and Swimsuit Miyako combo, so you actually spend 24,000 pyroxenes and you can get them in a pair. Whereas for Minori, she's going to be a single student right there. She doesn't really come in a pair, so that one is going to be harder to try to cater towards. I might consider skipping BonToi. I'm still thinking about it because right now there's just a lot of characters that I really want as well. It's going to be a very tight month up until the end of this year, and then alongside with that, we got to prepare for the upcoming collab that will most likely come to global server as well. So that's something that we have to start preparing in advance. I don't want to miss out on another collab units that never comes back ever again, just like Hatsune Miku. Alright, so with that being said, that is going to be it for this video. It's been 2 years, an amazing one. Hopefully, we still have one more global live stream coming later this week. So this is the date. It's going to be on 28th of October. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications as well, and consider following me on Twitch as well, because that's where I do live streams for watch parties, for other live streams as well. So consider following me there. As always, I'll see you guys again very soon. Have a nice day. Goodbye.